Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we are talking about the case of Jaime Osuna. Now, I want to give you guys a heads up. This is an extremely graphic case, so viewer discretion is highly advised. This is the case of when police discovered a grisly scene at a local hotel. The suspect revealed himself to be one of the most disturbing individuals in California history. So this case takes place in 2021 in Bakersfield, California. This is Jaime Osuna, and he had an extremely troubled past, to put it lightly. Jaime had strange and disturbing thoughts, and he was no stranger to acting upon them. Staying at a hotel near Jaime at the time was a woman named Yvette Benya. Yvette was a single mother of 6 who fell on hard times and just found herself to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. When Jaime laid his eyes on Yvette, he began fantasizing about some dark and disturbing things. Jaime had been having some dark urges and disgusting thoughts that just lingered around in his head. He often fantasized about this thing and was just waiting for the right person to come along that he could take action on. One day, Jaime had finally built up the courage to act upon his fantasies, and he decided that Yvette was going to be an easy target for him. Jaime assaulted her, abducted her, and held her captive in one of the hotel rooms. During this time, Jaime held and tortured Yvette, and the details are just disturbing. As a short summary, Jaime used knives to cut and slash her, blunt objects to beat her, and eventually strangled her to death. When police finally discovered the body of Yvette, Jaime was long gone. Some of the responding officers even held back from sharing details, as they told the press that it was one of the most disturbing things they had ever seen in their entire lives. 5 days later, police received a tip on where Jaime was, and he was soon arrested at a nearby apartment complex. When they confronted Jaime, he gave himself up without any resistance. Jaime was arrested and taken in for the murder of Yvette. Initially, Jaime pled not guilty and ended up staying in county jail for over 6 years. This entire time, he had just been waiting for his trial. As each year passed and little progress was made in his case, Jaime began to grow restless. One day, in a shocking turn of events, Jaime agreed to be interviewed by a local news station regarding the murder of Yvette. During this interview, Jaime unexpectedly just confessed for everything that he did. The news crew was absolutely shocked, and Jaime even told them that he was planning on pleading guilty as soon as the interview ended. Sure enough, that's exactly what he did, but when he was asked for the motive behind his confession, his answer was just cold and calculated. Jaime claimed that throughout the 6 years of being in county jail, he simply grew tired of being there. Jaime claimed that not only was he proud of what he did to Yvette, but the only reason he confessed was to get to prison faster. Jaime even said that he would do it all again, as it helped make him the man that he was today. The general public was shocked that Jaime came out and just said all this, and Jaime loved every single bit of attention that he was getting. In 2017, Jaime was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. During the hearing, Jaime laughed, mocked, and smiled at the family of Yvette while they read out loud what he did to her. Jaime ended up having to be removed from court, and following the conclusion of his trial, he was finally transferred from county jail to prison. Surprisingly, Jaime's behavior only got worse, and he started getting even more attention from the national media. Jaime had been serving out his sentence at a prison in Kings County, and he ended up becoming cellmates with a man by the name of Luis Romero. Luis had also been found guilty of the murder of a woman years prior, and the two seemed to get along just fine. So when the guards stumbled across a grisly scene between the two of them, they were horrified. On the morning of March 9th, 2019, during their daily cell checks, the guards found a scene that was straight from a horror movie. Jaime had taken the life of a cellmate, and the details were graphic. Jaime beheaded his cellmate, gouged his eyes out, and even removed multiple body parts. Jaime stood calmly next to the body and wore a necklace that was decorated with some of the parts that he removed from his body. Written on the walls in blood were the words, "The Man with 1,000 Faces," and the words, "Ha ha ha," written multiple times. Following his removal from his cell block, Jaime's story began to go viral in the national media. Jaime's unique appearance and savage attacks just grabbed the attention from thousands of people across the country. The investigators even claimed that this attack was one of the most gruesome they had ever seen. After being charged with the murder, Jaime offered to plead guilty on one condition. Jaime requested that he keep all of the photos that were taken at the scene of the crime. Obviously, this request was denied, and Jaime's case for the murder of Luis is still ongoing. While Jaime is still serving out his life sentence for the murder of Yvette, many people fear that there is no way to rehabilitate the monster that Jaime Osuna has become. I know today's episode was a bit graphic, but thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment if you found today's video to be interesting. Thank you guys, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.